Okay, guys, welcome to another video of the 2025 Mercedes CLA, and this would be, in my regards, the most important video for this car. And I'm going to be conducting, a couple of tests for this car, and that would include putting this car through its paces in terms of a range test and a charging test. And so currently, I'm at an Ionity DC fast charger at the moment. This Ionity DC fast charger is equipped with a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger. It's a CCS DC fast charger. And this car, Mercedes claims, can charge at a peak capacity of 320 kilowatts on its 800 volt battery architecture. So we're going to see how much time it takes to charge this car to full. A huge thank you to Mercedes CLA of Soleftio for borrowing me this car. Check out their inventories. They have a huge collection of cars and they have competitive deals for leasing and also financing. So check them out for your next dream car. Anyways, let's hop into the Mercedes while it charges. Okay, inside the Mercedes-Benz CLA 250 while it charges. And as we can see from these figures, we're currently charging at 101 kilowatts and we've added 106 kilometers of range. This charging is expected to end at about 47 minutes. You can see the real life situation here. There's a big difference from what the manufacturer claiming and the situation in real life. We are at about 7 degrees of temperature today, which is not that cold. And I also need to mention that we are the only car at this charging station. And so it's expected that the power from the grid is not diminished because of maybe any car that's charging, which could be pulling power from these charging stations. But it just looks like it's the car itself that is regulating itself to charge at 101 kilowatts. Does anyone know the reason for this? Please leave it in the comment box below. Also, good figure to note is the charging prices, especially at a DC fast charger. We are currently charging at 6.4 SEK, Swedish SEK per kilowatt. But then it's also going to be interesting to see how much we've charged from 27% to 100%. It's going to be interesting to see the total cost. So we should bear that in mind. We are at 87% state of charge. And as we can see from the infotainment screen or the charging menu, our charging speed has reduced to about 75 kilowatts and we've added 315 kilometers of range in total. We have 21 more minutes to go. So the charging speed has dropped, which is a normal thing for electric cars. When they are at about 85% state of charge, the charging speed would drop, and this is done to trickle charge the battery to 100% a bit slower to sustain the battery health for longer and also for safety. Okay, so we are at 99% state of charge, 100% state of charge. In terms of range, we have an estimated 567 kilometers of range and a maximum projected 765 kilometers of range, which is insane. And charging speed dropped to 6 kilowatts. We've added 420 kilometers totally. We can see the distinction between what the manufacturer is claiming and the real life situation. We started this charge at 27% and it took us 1 hour. The charging peaked at 118 kilowatts and reduced to 6 kilowatts when the battery got to 97 to 98% state of charge. And also good figure to have in mind is the price. The total cost of this charging took about 450 Swedish SEK. Now let's get out on the road and see the strongest point of this car, which is its range. Now before heading out on the road, first thing I would like to do is reset the trip computer. So if we go into the reset menu and reset the trip computer. Now before we begin the road test, we're going to impute our destination on the map here, which is of course easier to do while you're at a standstill. And I'm not going to be driving the full 765 kilometer range, electric range of this car. I'm going to be choosing, a route which would include some highway driving just to see how efficient this car is on the highway. And our destination would be a city just a bit up north from here, which is called EQ. It's about 65 kilometers away. So in total, this trip would be about 160 kilometers back and forth. So let's head out on the road. Okay, um, an important thing for me to mention during this test is, first of all, we are riding on 17-inch studded winter tires, so there is going to be more rolling resistance. Also, the ambient temperature or the outside temperature is about 7 degrees, so it's also good to bear that. I will not be including a noise test for this video just because we are on winter tires. So this is just going to be comprising of the range test and see how much range and how efficient this car is on highway driving. This route that we've planned consists of 110 kilometers per hour stretch of road. There's a 70 kilometer an hour stretch of road. There's a 90 kilometer hour stretch of road. So it's a good mix of different speeds. Also, I'll be setting up the car just like how you normally drive. So because of this temperature, we have some heating going on. The car would be in its most comfortable drive settings, and that can also be changed by the drive selector button on this panel here. And so the car defaults always to comfort mode, which we are already on. Just 13 minutes into this trip, and I can tell you that this car is a good road cruiser. It's comfortable for road trips. If you're in the front seat, of course, full-size adults that are rear seat occupants would struggle a bit in the rear of this car. But as a road tripper, this car is honestly comfortable. It's not the most quietest, honestly. And also, just to make this journey more comfortable and pleasant for me, I am going to be using the adaptive cruise control. The adaptive cruise control of this car can't stick to the speed limit. It has traffic sign recognition. So when you're approaching a road with a lower speed, the adaptive cruise control would reduce itself. So it modulates itself automatically. Yes, that's basically it. We are already out on the road now, driving to Pitio and back. And I'll see you at the end of this video to tell you the values we've gotten from this test, the overall efficiency of this test. Okay, we are back from this range test, and I have a couple of interesting numbers for you, which I'll just walk you through. So the total distance of this range test was about 156 kilometers. We averaged consumption figures of 19.4 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. Now, doing the quick maths with the battery capacity of this car, which is 87 kilowatts of battery capacity, doing that quick maths, it amounts a total range of 450 kilometers. So with the average consumption of 19.4 kilowatts per hour, the range you get from this car is 450 kilometers. Now, I need to mention that the conditions were not ideal, but not extreme. The weather was about 7 degrees Celsius, and it was also raining heavily. And I also need to mention that we are riding on 17-inch winter tires, so there's significant amount of rolling resistance. But in these conditions, this is the range you get from this car. And so the totality of this test is to compare what the manufacturer claims to the real world figure. Mercedes are claiming about 750 kilometers of range, which is just a hair under 500 miles. But from the range test we just did and the consumption figures we got, this car gives us a range of 450 kilometers. But it was actually interesting running this test and seeing the numbers we get from this test. If you made it to the end of this video, a huge thank you for watching this video. It means a lot to me if you subscribe to this channel and click on the like button. And leave in the comment box below if this happens to be your situation with the new Mercedes CLA. Well, that's it for me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.